Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Pax Dei live stream. We're so excited to be running this event and showcasing the latest of the latest build of the game for the first time publicly. This is a huge. So happy to be sharing it with this amazing community. A little bit about me. I'm Olam, a community dev working on Pax Dei. You may have seen me or members of my team across Discord replying to your messages and answering questions. We'll be keeping an eye on chat during this event, so post all your questions and comments in the stage chat right there. Please drop any thoughts you have during the event. Joining me on stage is Solka, Chief Product Officer at Mainframe. Peter, Lead Game Designer. Just before we get started today, just the parameters of how the event's running today. It's going to be about 30 minutes long, could go longer depending on questions and other things that we have in mind. We'll be showcasing the current build of the game. We'll do our best to answer questions, but our focus today is on showing you the game itself, as I'm sure many of you are eager to see.
756 now.
And Peter, I'll hand over to you for any questions before we jump into Pax Dei itself.
Sure.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. We're massively thankful for you joining us today for this first live stream of Pax Dei.
All right, I see y'all.
Super excited to show you what we've got so far and give you a glimpse into this build, which we'll be using for alpha.
Yep. Because we're as developers, we've been working on this for years, and the best thing is to actually be able to show your creation to people, and so
it's Hellfire.
We can't get feedback unless people see what we're building, and the game we're making is all about actually making this for the community. That's we're here, so very excited.
Yeah, I mean we're super aware there's no way for us to make a game of this scale and complexity without the community, without having a really good relationship with the community. So really happy to have you on this journey with us.
Right. So let's jump into the game.
Let's dive into it.
Okay.
So I hope everyone is seeing my stream.
Look at the braids.
Working all right for everyone?
Yep. You can turn your camera off as well.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
The braids look sick. Things.
All right. So
a little pouch on the belt.
The world we'll be looking at today is a world that's been inhabited by a lot of folks in our friends and family test recently, and it's currently ongoing. So all of the buildings that you see here are actually built by players from modular pieces, and we'll show you some of the building gameplay in a moment. But essentially, this whole village here,
holy shit,
has mostly been built by a single clan. So multiple people working together for thousands of hours, and coming up with all kinds of
thousands of hours
ways of building these buildings. Some of them are fully built, others are kind of still work in progress, and they're still kind of tinkering with it and kind of planning things.
He's got like a village, basically. Tier 1 axe.
They've done this, of course, both to kind of make their home.
Another axe. I wonder if that's like a combat axe. A hammer, a bow, a torch.
But they're also using these.
Is that a hoe?
To kind of organize all of their storage.
An arrow for the bow.
Setting up all of their crafting facilities for various crafting items that they want to produce.
Can you bump up the volume?
Over time, we'll be adding more and more kind of functionality to the buildings as time goes on. But there's already plenty of ways to kind of, build the structures that you want and decorate them and so forth.
Yeah, and we've been designing the game from the get-go to be something that really supports emergent gameplay. So we really want you to be able to do things that we never imagined before, and that bridge is a good example. I think we were very concerned that we need to build a bunch of bridges for people to be able to cross the waters, and actually it turns out
Solka's speaking now.
Players are really good at building bridges. And given we just gave them the tool that enables them to do that, and we're very happy about that.
Thanks for the follow, Tribu.
Yeah. And now I'm just visiting a house of one of our players. This is just a caveat. This is not my building. I don't build things that are nearly as pretty as this. But
look at the detail on
the. And actually,
it's
if
like
I
a star
my
pattern.
Building hammer, I can show you kind of just to give you an idea of kind of the granularity of the pieces that the owner of this house used to build this.
Building integrity. We got yellow. We saw orange.
You see, lay down all the floors, built this very gorgeous
green.
Home.
Yep.
That's got to be building integrity.
There's I know this audience question. There's a question like, is this UE5? Yeah, we're using Unreal
Engine. That was on the bingo card too.
Amazing lighting model that allows us to create these gorgeous environments, and obviously like the art team working on this obviously knows how to use the tool, so this doesn't come out of the box like this, but they've been able to use all the tools that we're getting from Epic into making something that like just has this gorgeous lighting, whether you're inside the houses or outdoors.
It's a lot of furnaces. Brazier, we've seen those before.
Yeah, there's also, I think there's a couple of like smaller groups of players that have kind of built adjacent to the village. And actually, my clan, we decided to build out a small neighborhood just a little bit further down the river. So we're gonna go over there and show you some more gameplay.
Yeah. And hey, can you quickly give us a glimpse of the arena that seems to be built on the other side of
Oh yeah.
the river? Yeah. So here, the other thing that like
That's pretty
so
detailed
the
for
art
sure.
team that we have working on the game, they're always blowing my mind in like some of the detail that we have here. So if you see the stonework that is touching the water, it actually gets this effect on it where there's algae growing on the stone. That is applied based on like things being built into water, and like the I don't know where they come up with the ideas for actually like adding these little details that make the things you're building into the world seem to fit the environment better, but they just do this thing and it makes the game just gorgeous.
I mean, it does look beautiful.
Well,
It
we've
looks
already got a few
absolutely
questions,
beautiful.
specifically regarding player buildings. Snorty's asked, will there be structure maintenance to reduce the global amount of structures? Will structures degrade over time? For example, if that algae starts climbing up the walls?
We currently don't have plans to do that, no.
Building a
But
little planter box.
there are so many different things that you can kind of optimize your structures for that we've already seen, and we kind of expect that players will be continuously kind of tinkering with and like re-optimizing based on the needs of the, you know, what the clan needs, or like people who join their village or small community. So these buildings, at least we don't have any active plans to make them kind of deteriorate on their own. Yeah, mainly for those reasons.
Some building animation shown off right there. That was pretty cool.
Is asking if you can go swimming in the river.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Maybe I'll take a dip in a little bit. So here is actually
swimming confirmed.
What my clan is working on right now. So
Better
we're
than New
building
World
some,
already.
you know, some massive structures here. This is going to be kind of, you know, our main kind of hub, and people are probably going to make their homes like adjacent to this. And in order to build something like this, you actually need to claim a piece of land as your own. And each player is able to claim a limited amount of land. And if I actually equip my hammer again, you can see kind of the outlines here of these plots that we've claimed.
Okay.
And see there's like a barrier between here. So this means that this is one player's plot, this is another player's plot.
That makes
and
sense.
Just by virtue of placing them next to each other, they create this kind of linear border. And this allows players to kind of, if they trust each other, these are people who are working together, these are friends, they can kind of start sharing permissions with each other and build things that actually take more space than just like a single plot of land. So the village that we just saw earlier had some really massive buildings that are spanning multiple plots. And so they're quite obviously like built by people who are kind of, who have some trust and are kind of working together.
Okay.
So this
All
building
right.
right here, for instance, is spanning a couple of plots.
And that combining of the plots and play together is it's a good example of us really wanting to create an environment where
It looks
we
like the plot
strongly
sizes are
incentivize you
decent.
to cooperate with other people. So this is really made for people who love playing in the clans, and so you get the larger villages, you get a lot more area land, and with the building pieces, the other thing is we're seeing a lot of folks start to specialize in different roles. So to make those stone pillars, you need stone, like you need wood and you need clay. You might have somebody specialize in being the builder, and like other people helping gather the materials needed to make these buildings. And Peter, you want to show us a bit
Look
of
at the
forge?
framework up top.
Yeah, I was going to show you a bit of building.
You actually have to do
There's
framework
just a few
because of the
people
integrity, it
asking
seems
about
like.
the size of a plot. Could we get a kind of bigger view of what a plot looks like?
Yes, I'll actually place my plot in a little bit on the other side of the neighborhood.
Oh, he's about to place
First,
buildings.
I'm just going to show you a little bit of the building. So just a caveat, I am cheating myself resources right now, just so I don't have to collect them. But yeah, you can see the recipe there in the top right corner. So I need a bunch of different components that I can build from some common resources to make these things.
Different window types, that's cool.
I need clay to make bricks, and I
The
need
UI
wood to
doesn't
make
seem too
different
bad either.
wood components and so forth. And then I can also go ahead and like decorate my house. I'm just gonna pick some flower pots here, put them underneath the windows.
Oh, and it's a good snapping point for those
Like
flower
so.
pots. That's sick.
And again,
I'll actually build a bit more while we take some more questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and with Unreal, basically all the lighting in the entire game is dynamic. So the buildings you're building here, like they cast shadows and like you can actually see light shafts coming in through the
Triple,
windows
when
as you're
Iron
making
Oceans
them.
can build,
So there's no fake lighting whatsoever, and
we're
it
gonna
just
put
makes
people to
the
shame, I
buildings
swear.
really feel like they're part of the world.
I'm sure my clan could. Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, there's a question I'd like to go back to about the user interface, actually, because we can see there's a number of buttons, and when you equip that hammer, it went into a slot. But I think it's worth saying what those buttons are. Are they skills, abilities? Are they just items?
Talking
Those
about the
are
bottom right
items,
corner of the
so you
UI.
can see my inventory here. It's actually filled with a bunch of materials, and the hotbar here is just an extension of my inventory. So when I'm activating the items here, I'm equipping them. So here I have my combat axe, and here's my kind of stone axe.
Just spells. Does he have any? Press C, sir.
Velfern asked if they could build these buildings anywhere on the map, like anywhere they're seeing sort of in the distance as well. I guess we'll get onto that with the plots in a second.
Yeah, Sulka will also show you the kind of the map in a little bit, and so we'll give you a bit more context for that. But
There's about to be
essentially,
an
yes, you
ad
can
that
build
plays.
them
I am so sorry, guys. I
mostly
cannot.
anywhere. There are at least there's
I can't
huge
make
amount
the
of land
ad
where you
not
can
happen.
claim these plots. And it is important to kind of note that these plots, like plot of lands where you're actually building, you're actually weaving the fabric of like the sandbox itself. Like you're making your server different from any other server because these are the same lands that people are like traveling to hunt
Just
and
sub.
trade. So
Yeah, right.
this village that we just saw earlier might become like the main trading hub in a huge province just because they've, they produce a lot of goods and they're really successful at trading. So you're really shaping the sandbox when you're building the buildings here. All
We get
right,
hit with
so
an ad. I'm
now
sorry.
I've just kind of traveled through the building that we are building right now. I am sure that like a lot of like some of this building here and like adjacent buildings are going to be dedicated to different kinds of professions. I'm sure we'll want to build like a very impressive blacksmithy with multiple smelters and furnaces and so forth, and maybe another dedicated spot for like leatherworking and like processing deer hides and so forth. But right now we
Oh, look at the
just
woodcutter.
set up shop here for like to get all the fundamentals going.
Why
On
do
this
they
side
have so
over
many
here, you can see
braziers?
Nordex there is making. I think that's a. I can't see what bench this is, but yeah, people are working away here, like making coal, producing goods. All of the gear, all of the items that you use in the game are made by players. So whether it be armor, hats, jewelry, weapons, all the tools and wieldables, they're all made by players. And they're made by players from materials and rare ingredients and like rare loot drops that you find out in the wilderness and in dungeons. So like
Yeah, it could get pretty
having a
dark.
diverse set of like very specialist crafters is really important for a group that wants to be able to kind of progress in the game and dabble in different things.
Specialized
Two questions
crafters.
on this. One I'd
Okay.
like to go back to when you were building. Someone noticed that the color was different depending on where you put the hammer. It was green.
Oh yes, yeah.
So what did
It's
that
integrity.
represent? Was that
that is integrity. So it's the structural integrity of the building. So you see that the floors and these walls here are green. It just means that they are very sound, like they're as strong as they can be. This one is kind of light green. That means that it's still very stable, but it's starting to lose some of its integrity because it's built up vertically. So it's inheriting some of the integrity of the building pieces below. That's what that means.
Brilliant. And someone else, I think, asked if it would be possible.
Oh yeah,
we were just talking about crafting,
building integrity. They mentioned
how
Unreal
easy
Engine.
would
Did
it
you
be
get
for one
that?
player to be able to do everything that we just saw there with
Right.
with everyone
So
crafting at the same time?
So the
Nice.
game is fully skill based. You advance your character skills, at your own liking. So when you create a character, you're not locked into any kind of, whether it be like a combat class, like a warrior or a cleric or something like that, or into the professions. It's all kind of open, so you can master everything in theory, but you just need a lot of materials, and you need a lot of time invested in like all of these different activities to be able to do everything on your own. So while the game certainly caters to players who want to mainly just like progress by themselves and like play alone, but we just think it adds so much value that they're doing it in the context of all, the entire population on the server. So
Makes
you might be
sense.
somebody who would want to like kind of live on their own as a hermit somewhere in the wood, and like I mean that in a very positive way. Like you might want to you might want to be the hunter who lives in the woods,
He
and
went to
you
a sensitivity training this year,
provide
that's for
meat
sure.
and skins, and you also do some blacksmithing, but you're probably going to be trading with people who live in the village. Some people might come and visit you to buy goods that you're providing, and of course, yes, you could try and do everything, but it just takes a lot of effort, and also just a lot of space, because some of those buildings take you need to set up all of the different um, establishments and like kind of crafting facilities to do everything. So definitely be a lot harder to work alone, but you can do it.
Yeah, like I said, a
Makes
question
sense.
basically on the economy. As Peter said earlier, like everything is made by the players.
If you just got hit by an
allowing
ad,
people
you
to
didn't miss.
trade.
You didn't miss anything.
So it's this game is going to be fully
Solo
player
players
driven in terms
versus
of the economy.
group play
It's going
was
to be
what was said.
you're going to be in control. You're going to be cooperating with people. If you're really good at producing something, you're probably going to be making like selling that or like helping other people like make those things. So yeah, again, we're making an environment where cooperating or like working with other players is going to be the key and drive the entire game.
So I'm at a place now where I actually want to place my plot because I haven't made use of it yet.
It said he had 4 plots. Did
so
you see
you can
that?
see when I'm in this mode here with my hammer, I get this bird's eye view where I can see like exactly what
That's actually
amount
a
of
lot of
land I can
space.
claim. So I can either go somewhere and claim, a circular plot like this, or I can try and claim a plot of land that is next to somebody else. And
Oh, it
just
snaps.
like I said earlier, just if you look at the other plots that the clan already has, like before I drag my plot over here, they're slightly smaller. So the other, like both of the plots that kind of touch, extend a little bit to make this kind of connected area between them. So it's like a soft incentive for people to actually build something together. So
Okay.
now I placed it.
And it gets bigger.
I can also release it again and move it somewhere else if I want to. But
3
I'm gonna
unclaimed
place it and
plots.
give my clan privileges so they can all now like
There's a very
build
basic
here
permission
and
system. It's
set up shop.
kind of quick. Couldn't really see it
Just on plots
too well.
themselves, so would this be instance, for example, could someone from the surrounding village come to this house and kind of see it being built as it is currently?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we're building inside the sandbox that everyone else lives in. So the
Okay.
house here and everything inside of this kind of is open for visitors. People can come and visit, but there are also, we also have some permissioning on some of the interactables, like some of the crafters and crafting tables and like the smelter. We don't want people to come and like steal the goods that we're producing, and also the chests. They're also locked, but we can share them with our friends and clanmates.
Okay, so permission system, lockable chests, lockable
But
plots.
yeah, I was just visiting somebody else's house earlier, for instance, and of
That's
course they had a lot of chests in there that I
kind of
could
massive
steal
actually.
from.
It's cool that it's
They
not
were locked.
instance either. Like non-instance housing is actually crazy.
I didn't even try. Also because I'm good. At least in public.
Okay, you're gonna hit a tree. All right. Damage numbers.
There's
All
a few
right.
more questions, or we could.
We like damage numbers. That's huge.
Yeah, we
Massive,
could maybe answer
actually.
a couple more questions and then switch to Sulka. Up to you.
Cool. So we're seeing a lot of people asking about the economy and currency and money.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like that. Where do we stand at the moment?
Huge, massive numbers. What's up, Matt?
For the in-game economy, we don't have it enabled at the moment. So like but there's going to be gold coins that you can find and use them for trading. But
okay.
they will coincide with some other features that we're going to introduce very soon. But it's not in this build yet.
So there's going to be gold sinks?
That includes like tools for players to basically set up markets to trade. So yeah.
But you need to have a gold sink. So what would you sink
waiting
your
for you
gold
to shoot.
Yeah, I'm gonna embarrass myself here. I just missed the first one.
Okay, he's
now
like
overshot.
he's like
He's very
intentionally.
people. But
No.
players have noticed. People in chat have noticed
Okay.
the road as well. So is that something
The deer
players
look pretty
built,
good.
or
Okay. All
what
right.
is that road exactly?
One shot kill.
These roads here were laid by previous civilizations that have fallen in the world, so they're pre-existing and can be found in the world. So these were not laid by players, no.
Interesting.
But we also have noticed the building blocks obviously allow people to also make roads in the villages, and we're seeing that happen as well. And I think we'll probably want to make that system more robust in the future, because it seems that
Yeah,
there's a
the way
lot of
They
players-
did mention roads.
Absolutely. The way players are laying down roads right now,
It was
it's
128.
definitely functional.
Okay.
It actually looks quite good, but we haven't added those like specific.
I wonder what like
building
health
blocks yet,
numbers
but
look like
we're
for
working on
like
that.
enemies. The deer had
soon enough.
Yeah, people ask about the
128
in-game
HP.
sound. So there is, I think I'm not sure if you're not streaming or like did we tone down the music, like the audio on the game quite low. But there definitely is audio on the game. Like there's both music and VFX or like the SFX
Yeah.
on the.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, hopefully we'll hear them in your
Would
stream.
have one shot himself for
Yep.
sure. All right, so we got
Yes.
rows on the
Yeah,
bingo
and
card.
I guess lots of questions regarding the PC specs. We don't have the finalized yet. Sorry about that. We're still like as people have been saying in the chat, like we're still optimizing this. We do want the game to be running on lower spec that you would expect this kind of graphics to actually run. So this is not going to require the very latest NVIDIA, although like of course if you have the latest card, it's going to run more awesomely than on the slower specs. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
like
focus on
something that
optimization.
we're
That's good.
actively working on and actually testing across different
We like optimization.
PC specs right now to come up with the final list.
Oh, someone's asking if we
Oh,
can
he's
see the
sitting.
inventory UI again.
Can we see the spell
Let's
UI?
maybe hand it over to Sulka. I know you.
Yeah, I can show you some of
you
that.
had some plans to show that. Yeah. So I'll stop my stream and you take over.
Do I have to click on his stream or does it automatically do it?
All right.
How many people are in the dev stream now? What do we got?
Cool. Hey, so welcome. So I have a
937.
different character here. I've been playing the game for some time, so I actually have some gear, and I can show you the inventory a little. So basically, here's the main grid of things I have in my inventory, but there's also the view to equip things on my character. And we
Conical
have a
helmet,
system
tier
that
1.
allows you to wear quite a lot, and mix and match everything freely. So different pieces of armor, like different pieces like clothing, jewelry, and buildables. You can basically what you find, some of it is going to be purely decorative, but there's going to be a lot of items that actually do affect the capabilities of your character in the combat.
Makes sense.
And actually in PvE and PvP, while the game itself is classless, so there's no classes, it's skill based. The gear that you're wearing is going to have a fundamental effect on your capabilities in the combat.
Are those
and
white
this also includes
squares like
the
tier?
foods that you're eating, the potions you're carrying. So the consumables and gear together
Like
effectively form the
these?
class that you are performing at any given point.
So
And
it's
there's going
tier
to be
1,
like
tier
once you start
3,
adventuring the world and going into
tier
like some
2.
locations that give you the loot drops that the Peter was talking about, you will be able to manufacture gear that gives you capabilities that you don't have as a new player. And I guess I could show you like basically like
Sockets?
put on this plate armor and
Ooh,
like get a
maybe.
bit different look.
Oh, look at those
And
legs. They're
the
shiny.
thing here is again the art team's been doing an amazing job at
Oh my
putting
god,
like
look at
this
that.
incredible level of detail into everything that you're crafting and making and wearing. So expect basically to be blown away by the craftables.
The examine
on
feature's kind
a
of
level
sick
of
too.
detail that you typically don't see in games. And we're still only now getting started. We're working on a like patch to the game that actually adds a lot of gear in the near future.
Okay, so they still got more work on the gear.
And like,
but look how shiny that
yes,
is.
let's
That looks
look at
so
the
good.
world a little. So we're currently the location of the world that we were in here is called Ardennes. And this is one of the what we've been calling the heartlands. And the heartlands is effectively a valley that allows the players to be building the villages.
Is it purely
And like
cosmetic?
so when you create
I
a new
hope not.
character, your character is going to be appearing in one of these heartlands. And like on my map is basically like it's an area inside of the red border. And
What
if we
would
zoom
Plex
out
do
a
though?
little,
You know what I mean?
this is a map of a single province. Uh, And each one of the provinces that we have in the game
Yes.
is about like roughly 100 square
YouTube.
kilometers, of which maybe 80-ish is playable area.
Sorry, I'm not trying to talk
And
much.
each one of the provinces has 6 of these heartlands that are like interconnected, and you can like walk around in this whole area. And you can walk between the provinces, so there's gateways between the provinces. So the entire like 4 times 80 square kilometers, so basically around 350 square kilometers world, that's all playable. You can be able to access all of it. And there's areas that you will want to visit in all of them. So this is a massive world for you to explore. And each one of the icons here on the map is basically a PvE site of different descriptions. So there's a lot of places for you to go to, including some of them leading to dungeons.
A dragon in the
There's like
corner?
people have been asking about PvE.
I
There's
didn't
a
see
bunch
it.
of PvE here, even though this build doesn't necessarily focus on the PvE. But if you're into actually like leveling up or like the developing the character and like getting better gear and like being able to go to like PvE adventures that are enabled by you progressing, that totally is part of the game as well, and we want to be very deep on that.
Call me Donkey because I'm
So
about to
two
get that
questions
dragon.
on the map and the
It's
scale
funny.
of the world.
It looked like
David
those were
asking
points
about
of interest.
transportation. As you said, that's a huge world. Is there transportation at the moment for helping people get around?
Nope. Right now, you're gonna have to do a long walk. And actually, it's funny. I was talking to one of the developer team members, and like he made a character like randomly in place, and like started like making his home, and then most of the dev team actually made a village in another part of the world, and it took him 6 hours to walk from his home to the village that we're building.
6
So there's going to be
hours?
like considerable amount of walking to
Holy
be done if you
shit.
want to explore everything. But we absolutely do want to add features there as well.
Bro, that's
I
like a
guess
whole
we'll
session
talk
and a
about that
half
a
of
bit later,
playing.
before too long. But yeah, and if you look at the map, actually, it's difficult to get the like idea of the scale really just looking at the map. So let's take a peek in the world. So here, I'm looking at the castle. This is actually player built.
Oh, look at
So
that.
few crazy folks they've been building this castle on top of the mountain. And it's taken them a lot of effort to do that, because the amount of time it's taken them to ferry actually the building materials on top of that mountain has been pretty huge. So like massive respect to the people who had the patience to do that, but they produced something that looks pretty amazing.
Is that like a wizard tower in the
And
top
if we start
right?
walking to the other direction, you can see the actual like this is just I'm basically only seeing within the one heartland that I just showed on the map. So and like each one of these locations, everything you see here is actually accessible for you to walk into and see. So the world really is huge.
Damn, look at that.
And once we get to the ledge, once we get to the ledge,
Performance
you
hitches.
can actually see the village that Pietro was just looking into. So the other thing that like in addition to the world being gorgeous and the team
Oh, the
doing an
naked guy
amazing
running
effort
through?
at that,
Did I see that? I didn't
our
see
like
it.
tech folks have been like, I don't know how they do this. The rendering distances to which we can show the world are amazing.
So how far
So if
was
you're
like
building a
down
village,
here,
you
I
can actually
think.
literally go up the mountain that you're building next to, like look down into the village and see everything you built at long distances. And this also
Because
means
that's
that
that
when you're
bridge, then there's
exploring
the other
and
bridge.
you bump onto things
Look at
other
that,
people have
man.
been
That's
making, you can
crazy.
see those to long distance. And this is something like unlike any game what has done it before.
You got like a
and like
dome
actually the one
sphere
other thing I
thing.
was thinking of pointing out, like the ruin that you see on the top of the castle, or like the top of the mountain,
Okay.
that's one of the PvE locations that you see as a ruin on the map. So you're going to be seeing those to quite long distances as well. So if you see an
Is that a
interesting
build
thing
right
in a
there?
hard to access location, that might be a tip for you to
I don't know if
go
you guys
visit
can see my
somewhere.
mouse, but it doesn't look like you can see my
Is there
mouse.
questions?
Under
There
the
are plenty
like
of questions.
point
in
of
the chat,
interest, it looked
quite-
like there was a building.
Quite sadistic, unfortunately. Everyone is saying jump and talking about fall damage. So yeah, just to be clear on the dangers of fall damage, specifically, that's why Solka wasn't running towards the edge of the cliff, because well, I'll let you explain, but how much fall damage is there? How dangerous is exploring sometimes, if you, especially up
Fall
high like
damage,
this?
that's a big one.
There is
Yeah.
fall damage, yes. I would not recommend jumping down.
Can be very, very lethal.
And should someone take a little stumble and unfortunately die, what happens to all their items and gear at the moment?
Good question.
Yeah, if you die, it's the same as if you die in combat or any other situation. Your corpse
under
is
the
gonna
point
be
of interest, it looks like there's a
left
build
there,
like,
lying for you to come and retrieve it. So you
bottom
will spawn
right.
at some not too distant location, and you'll have to make your way back to get your stuff, or worst case scenario, just craft more things, or have some spare stuff in your house.
So yeah, that came up before as well, and it'd be a good point to make. So
you could collect it
forever?
or
how durable is gear?
recreate it, I think is what he said.
In this alpha build, we haven't enabled durability yet on gear, but that's fully intent. Yeah.
Okay, so no durability.
Gear will basically
but
not
there
last
will
forever.
be durability. Okay.
You'll need to repair it, and ultimately, once you've repaired it enough times, it will break.
I'm curious about this too. Do our items disappear if we die? Kind of like an arc? And there's like a 15-minute timer in arc?
I think Sarah's is saying, do our items disappear after some time? If left on the floor, I believe they do vanish after a set amount of time.
Okay, well that answers that question.
As it stands right now, like you need to put things in proper storage if you want to leave them out in the world. Otherwise, they will poof.
There are a few questions about provinces in the world itself as well. So how many, with the current build we've got, how many heartlands and provinces are
it does look really
can
good.
people choose how they get into the world, like where they
I think as you look out further away, it looks less good.
So there's 4 provinces.
But it still looks
each
good.
one
you know
has
what I mean?
6 heartlands, and yes, when you make a new character, unless the population of a single heartland is full, you can choose that. So you're completely free to choose where you start. And the current assumption is that the population that we're shooting for one of these worlds is around 7,000 people. That's simply still something that we're finalizing right now, and I think we're probably going to be growing the world to be bigger eventually. So the actual shard size is going to be even bigger than that sometime in the future. But like right now, a full province or a full world copy shard is going to be about.
Dude, New World is like 2.5.
Might be
7,000.
To clarify also that, like, even though a heartland that is full just means that it has been like it has met its like maximum quota of like plots that can be claimed. But so even if you start somewhere else, you can always visit a heartland that you couldn't start in already, just because it was filled up with like claimed land. So you can always travel everywhere, even though some heartlands have been filled up with the maximum amount of kind of homesteaders in that place.
Yep. And people asking again, like, yes, the provinces are connected. You will be able to like travel the entire world. There's no limitations to that.
They're all interconnected.
What if I join late? Like, I wanted to play this game, but I joined my friends late, and like all those quote unquote plot spaces are taken. You know what I mean?
There's a few things that we haven't been able to show. So obviously, people are asking about the full damage and dying and losing your items. So could another player just come along and take your items? And I guess that kind of leads into PvP itself as well, which we'll go into in a bit more detail.
PvP? Hello?
But yeah, I think players are curious to hear about what happens. Like, if you fell off that cliff, could Peter just run by and steal all your stuff?
No, I could not. We'll talk about about PvP at a later point.
No
but by
PvP.
default, no. If you die somewhere and your stuff is left on your corpse, either from falling or dying in PvE, your stuff is still safe there
to me, for
you to retrieve it.
Jump.
They really want you to jump.
Jump.
Yeah, I know. I actually might have God mode on, so like I'm not sure if I'm gonna die.
Jump.
Should we check?
Can check.
Yeah.
If they really want you to die, you could also just drown. I don't think God mode saves you from drowning.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's God
sorry.
mode on.
Yeah.
He's fine, folks.
Damn. Show swimming though. Superhero landing. Show the swimming animation.
All right. So hey, let's show something else. I'll stop streaming on my end.
All right. What else we got? What else we got?
We're not done, I guess.
Yeah, we're not quite done yet.
It sounds so like unscripted.
All right. So one more thing. Alpha's coming. We're calling this Alpha Day the Home Valley. I still recommend that you go to Pax Dei to sign up. And let's talk about the reason why. if you go to the next slide, whoop.
Oh,
yeah. So
I saw 14th to the
we
17th.
are doing the first alpha test. This is going to be mostly focused on the type of gameplay that we. Oh, let's turn the camera on. The gameplay that we discussed here. So like exploring the world, collecting resources, crafting, building a home. As I said, the PvE progression is there. We have dungeons.
PvE.
They're huge. You can get lost in them. Spire couldn't be here today because he's lost in the dungeon again.
Spire, dude.
And the
that was on the bingo card.
Really is disabled is PvP. It's just not ready for public consumption. I'm very sorry about that. We just couldn't do that now.
Okay, so no PvP.
But it's coming. Like we definitely do want to have PvP in the game, and we want that to be something that people will enjoy. So let's talk about when. Alpha when.
Well, 14th to 27th.
Next Tuesday.
Holy shit.
We're gonna fill an entire shard. So this is gonna be thousands of people.
Holy
sadly,
fuck.
I'm sorry. There's a lot more you who want to participate, so we can't possibly fit everybody in. But we are still like open to people signing up. So we're gonna be the randomization who gets to participate is going to happen at the very last minute. So it's still possible to go to Pax Dei and like sign up. I would recommend you put in the friend code. That is beneficial. Please do that. There's gonna be more information in the Discord. And the super excited. Like we, as I said,
that's such a long test. I mean, I'm not complaining, but that's
getting
sick.
feedback from people is and like being able to allow you to play the game is that is the dream of developers working on something. And yeah, very excited and thrilled and kind of scared about this whole thing, but this is awesome.
Yeah, the build you're going to be playing is exactly the one that we just showed you. This is the final build for this Tuesday.
That's crazy, actually.
Brilliant, yeah. So we still have some time for some further questions or anything like that at this moment. Obviously, there's a lot of information to absorb here.
Can we get fishing?
We're going to have full posts, more information about all of this, what's going to be included, specifics, all of that's still coming. But for the time being, players are asking, what will they be able to share from this alpha?
Right. Okay. So the NDA is going to be lifted. So starting next Tuesday, if you get into the game, you're free to stream to your heart's content and take screenshots, take videos, post whatever. We're very happy about the game. It looks gorgeous. We want you to have like fun time with it and like tell everybody about it. So there's no NDA.
That's actually kind of crazy.
From next Tuesday specifically, yeah.
Starting next Tuesday, yep.
That's actually nuts.
But in the lead up to that, there will be more information being circulated from what we can share right now. We want people to be ready and prepared. The best advice we can give you is to sign up on Pax Dei, enter a friend code if you can, and link your account to Discord for all the latest updates as well. So I think there's a few questions coming through about the file size and things like that. Things like that will be in all the communications that we send out and going forward. On the selection process for who gets access, I think you said there will be raffled.
It's raffled.
Raffle system. How does the raffle work?
Has some probability increase in the like this is made for groups. We want groups to play. But there's no big selection criteria that we're applying to this. It's mostly just raffle.
Hydrate. Thanks, Batul. Cheers.
Noticed during the demo that we didn't touch the spell category in the inventory.
Good call. Good call on that.
Is there a reason for that, and where is that system in this build?
There is a handful of spells that you can access in the game at the moment. There's more incoming. We talked about, we are kind of hard at work working on kind of combat and item progression, and especially like spells and special abilities. So we're fully aware that some of the spells that are currently in the game are underwhelming. It's not the focus of the test at the moment, but they're there. You might find some. But we'll talk a lot more about spells and combat in the kind of coming weeks and months.
And the
what the fuck? He literally has a leak behind him. Did you guys see that?
As I implied earlier,
in his camera?
they're going to be a lot about the gear that you craft. So if you want to be a spellcaster,
he literally has a leak.
It's going to be like the things you wear, the things you wield.
I did not notice
the ones
that.
actually affect the spells that you'll be able to cast.
Fairy is asking if.
But yeah, magic. Some magic is in. That's good.
In the alpha.
So yeah. So you'll be like you'll be able to go into dungeons. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people streaming from behind, like for when actually who get to play. So there's going to be you'll be able to see the dungeons very soon. We're not going to be showing them today.
Interesting. We're not going to show them.
And I guess the first quest for people is going to be able to find where the dungeons are.
Giving us a quest. Heard that.
There are many. We promise. Yeah. You have to find them.
There's a few other questions. Seeing as clans are going to be so important in arranging and setting up settlements, what kind of options are there for clan administration and organization? We didn't really go through it in the demo, but
so in the game, there's basically you can create the clan. There's a clan finder interface, so you can join a clan. You probably want to talk to people that you meet in the world because you will want to be building villages together. So yeah, absolutely, clans are important. There's tools in the game for that.
Okay, we got clans. I feel like that would be like a very important aspect.
Obviously, people are very curious about. I know this is the very next step we're going to, but after this alpha, is there a plan going forward for more alphas? I guess it's kind of too early to tell right now, right? We're just about to go into this big test.
Yep.
Already asking
let's
about
do this
the
first.
next one.
So obviously during the alpha, like we're gonna be like looking at what you do, like super curious to get all the feedback, and that's gonna inform the what we do in the future. So like I'm hoping all goes well. Might be that obviously like we're fully expecting that you're gonna be finding bugs that we need to fix. That's part of why we're doing this. We'll also be looking at the performance of the people who play this, like in terms of the hardware requirements. So this is all about us learning what you like about the game and like how it works, what we need to improve. And like once we have all of that data, then we're gonna be making decisions over like how quickly we can actually like do the next test.
It's interesting. Makes sense. Some potato leek soup. Sounds terrible.
One of the final questions people keep asking.
Actually, I don't know what a leek tastes like, so I can't say that.
Preoccupation.
Yes, fishing.
Is that in the build currently?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like it's my favorite thing. I'm an explorer fisher when I play MMOs. Yeah. Sorry.
It's everyone's favorite thing. It's one day. There's a lot of rivers and like open bodies of water that are just like screaming for us to implement fishing. It will be there, but it's not there yet.
Unfortunate. I think there's like a good base for alpha, based off what they've shown, so that'd be good.
For the latest updates. For now, the advice is to sign up on playpaxday.com and opt into the alpha before November the 12th. There'll be a lot more details coming soon, as I said. But I think it just falls to us to say thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're excited by what you showed you. We're certainly excited about what's coming next. It's such an amazing community. We're so happy to have you all here with us. And yeah, have a great weekend, everyone.
God, everyone's spamming hearts.
Just super thrilling and awesome to actually be able to do this. So thank you all.
Yeah, just echoing what you guys said. Just all the thanks in the world for joining us today, and can't wait to see what you do.
Everyone's so much more kind than I expected. Look at them all.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.